A very good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News here on Channel 1 MTV. I'm Ramesh Rugalbanda. Making headlines this afternoon. Initiative launched to attract more American travelers to the country. Fires burn out of control in Bolivia. And coming up on Sports First, 6 Sri Lankan cricketers nominated for the 2009 ICC Awards ceremony. Moving on to stories in detail now, Sri Lankan ambassador to the US, lte Vikramasuriya, accompanied a group of US tourists to the country this morning. This was part of an initiative to bring more American travelers to the country.
This is the first in a series of signature tours launched by the Sri Lankan ambassador to the US, lte Vikramasuriya, the Sri Lankan embassy in Washington, D.C. and the Sri Lankan Tourism Development Authority. This group includes an award-winning travel writer, a Hollywood film professional and other executives from a variety of companies. Earlier this year, the New York Times named Sri Lanka its #1 travel destination in 2010, and the National Geographic ranked Sri Lanka second amongst its top 25 places to visit in 2010. According to the release following the conclusion of the war in 2009, the number of tourist arrivals has increased by 50% during the first half of 2010 compared to the same period in 2009. The U.S. Department of State in May recognized the lasting peace in the country and lifted a travel advisory.
Around 26 houses have been damaged in the Iniagala area in Ampara owing to a strong gust of wind that swept through the area. District Secretary Sunil Kannangara, speaking to News First, said that the winds which swept through the area last evening had completely destroyed 6 houses. The supply of electricity to the area has also been disrupted as a result of this. The District Secretary added that steps have been taken to provide relief to those who have been affected. Accordingly, Kannangara said that those affected will be provided with tents and dry rations. A discussion was held yesterday with regard to the proposed electricity projects which are underway in the Nuwara district. This discussion was held under the patronage of Deputy Minister of Power and Energy, Premalal Jayasekara.
The discussion was held at the Nuwara District Secretariat. On this occasion, regional public representatives informed the Deputy Minister as to which areas of the district have not received electricity as yet.
The Electricity Board should act in a manner which does not inconvenience the public. It is because the Electricity Board charges a certain amount to supply electricity. Therefore, it is the objective of everyone in our ministry to provide immediate services to the consumers.
Speaking at the occasion, District Secretary of Nuwara, DPG Kumarasiri, said that on certain occasions, those residing in the estate sector obtain electricity illegally and that as a result of this, accidents occur.
Well, a stash of weapons and explosives have been discovered in the Wellamulli Waikal area in Mullathil. The discovery was made by the Special Operations Unit of the Nuwara Police. The stash of weapons had included pressure bombs, detonators, anti-personnel bombs and claymore bombs. The weapons had been buried underground by the LTTE. The raid was carried out under the instructions of DIG Central Province Gamini Navaratna, SSP Nuwara Gamini Mathurata and the OIC of the Special Operations Unit of the Nuwara Police, Sudat Fonseca. Staying in local news, area residents in Mahargama say that a tank which once proved to be the source of beauty to the whole area has now become a health hazard.
The Boralaskamo tank, which has its own great history, once spanned across an area of 50 acres. However, due to various reasons, it has shrunk to a mere 25 acres. To make matters worse, area residents point out that the tank has become polluted due to garbage being dumped into it. They also charge that contaminated water and other garbage disposed from various shops is also dumped directly into the tank. One can also witness an invasion of water plants across the surface of the tank. Area residents point out that a proper cleaning or maintenance of the tank has been neglected by the relevant officials.
Today the whole tank is covered with salvinia. Garbage from various factories have also piled up. This is being completely destroyed.
The
tank has brought dengue to the area and it is now filthy.
We inquired about the matter from the mayor of the Maharagama Urban Council, Kanti Kodikara. The Borleskamo tank is being maintained by the Urban Development Authority. We have requested them to hand over responsibility of the tank to us. If they hand over the responsibility to us, we can address this situation.
The traditional bees honey offering to the sacred temple of the Tooth Relic took place this morning. The indigenous people, led by Urwalige Wanilato, make the bees honey offering to the temple every year. Around 40 indigenous people arrived at the sacred temple of the Tooth Relic this morning to make this offering, as the first Vandoli Perahara will parade the streets of Kandy tonight. This function was attended by the Devada Nilame of the sacred temple of the Tooth Relic, Nilangadala, Pradeep Nilangadala, as well. He too presented awards to the indigenous people who participated in the bees honey offering.
Let's take a look at some of the stories making headlines in the international arena. Lockerbie bomber enjoys a year of freedom. And fires burn out of control in Bolivia.
A terminally Libyan convicted of the 1988 Lockerbie bombing has enjoyed a year of freedom at home in a case that has complicated relations between the new British government and the US administration. Scottish authorities freed Abdel Basit al-Megrahi to return home on August 20th last year on compassionate grounds. Megrahi, who has prostate cancer, was expected to live only 3 months but has survived, prompting US questions about the medical advice on which the decision was based. The Libyans gave Megrahi a hero's welcome when he returned to Tripoli last year, embarrassing Britain's then Labour government. The case has also cast a shadow over efforts by Britain's new coalition government to maintain strong transatlantic ties. Prime Minister David Cameron, elected in May, rejected calls for an inquiry into whether BP influenced the release when he met US President Barack Obama in Washington last month. Forestry authorities in Bolivia have declared a state of emergency as forest fires burned out of control yesterday and civil defense forces struggle to cope. Authorities believe not just human lives but whole towns are at risk, as well as important wildlife reserves. The Bolivian government has asked for help from Argentina and Brazil to quell the fires, which were started by peasants but which have spread rapidly in windy dry conditions, turning eastern provinces of Bolivia into a disaster zone. 25,000 brush and forest fires are ravaging more than 1.5 million hectares and sending a dangerous cloud of smoke into the air, forcing airports to close. Government officials say at least 23 airports are closed, with landing and takeoffs not permitted due to the lack of visibility. The blazes were started by peasants who at this time of the year burn large sections of prairie land and forests to clear land to use for cultivation, a practice known as chaquillo.